welcome back to my channel. Hope you guys are having a great day. So I just have a quick little review video for you guys all about this guy right here. This is the By Terry Eye Designer palette in the shade Smokey Nudes, and it looks like this. So this is actually coming out in the US, I think, in the next few days. I actually got my hands on this from a friend of mine who we did a swap. She sent me this because she knows how much I love By Terry products. And she sent me this during our swap. And I was so excited to try this. The colors look amazing. I mean, By Terry products are known to be so luxury, so fantastic. Like I have with all my other products, I love everything. So I was so excited to get my hands on this and try this palette out. So when we look at it again, it does come with a brush, which I am gonna take out. And the brush is actually a fairly nice little decent brush. So this is the Smokey Nudes palette again. There is one more palette that they came out with, which is more brighter colors. But these are all of the neutral tones, which I love. So the palette comes with 10 eyeshadows. They are all matte, but when you use them wet, they transform into like a beautiful satin type of finish, which I absolutely love. I spray my MAC Fix Plus on my brush and then go in and dip my brush in one of the colors, and it is beautiful. So before I get into my thoughts on this palette, let me go ahead and swatch this for you. I am going to swatch them wet and dry, each color for you. So we're going to start on the top row here. We're going to start with this blackish gray shade right here. Here is the color dry. You can see it's a beautiful blackish gray color. And then here it is wet. You can see it just kind of intensifies the color a little bit more, and it kind of creates more of a sheen to it versus more of the matte look when you use it dry. Here's the next color. It is the most gorgeous copper color. This is dry. This one naturally has a little bit more sheen to it, even dry. And then here is the swatch wet. So you can see again, it just intensifies the color a little bit more. This is one of my absolute favorite colors in the palette. That is what I'm wearing on my eyelid today. It's just simply beautiful. So those are the wet and dry swatches of that color. So moving on down the line here, we now come to this gray color right here. And here is the swatch dry. You can see it's just a beautiful natural gray tone. And then here is the swatch wet. Again, they both swatch beautiful. The next swatch we come to is this one right here. And I love this color. It's kind of like a light tan goldish color. It's absolutely beautiful. That is the swatch dry, and then that is the swatch wet right below. This is one of my favorite colors in the palette also. This makes such a great lid color, crease color. I love this color. This is one of my favorite in the palette. Last one on this top row is this gorgeous dark brown shade, and here's the swatch of the dark brown shade dry. And then this is that same shade with the swatch wet. This color here is a really good one to really show the difference in some of the colors, where the dry one is more matte and very subtle looking, where if you wet your brush or you use MAC Fix Plus, you're going to see that the pigmentation just comes alive and you get more of a depth in your color. So again, this is the last one in the first row. This is that dark brown shade. So moving on to the bottom row here, we just finished off with this brown shade. We're gonna go right below to this shade right here, and this one's just a neutral light brown shade. That's the swatch of it dry right here, and it's kind of hard to see on my hand. It's just a really light tan beige shade. And then here is the swatch of it wet, and again, you can see that difference. Next one in that row is this matte cream shade right here. That's the swatch of it dry right here. Again, this is a perfect like highlight shade. It's just a soft matte cream color. And then this is the swatch wet, and between these two they actually look pretty similar, dry and wet. Now we're moving on to this color right here. This is more of a peachy cream color. Here is the swatch dry, and this color just blends in with my skin on my hands so well. So I'm not sure how well you're going to see this swatch because it's very like skin tone peachy tan of a color. Here's the swatch wet, and I hope you can tell the difference because when you use this wet, you can see much more of that peachy pigmentation come through, and you do get a lot more, you kind of actually get another color when you use this color wet. Moving on, we're at this light pink shade right here, and here's the pink shade dry, and then this is the swatch of it wet, so you can see the difference between those two right here. So moving on to the last color in the palette, it's this corner shade right here, which is a beautiful grayish taupe color. And here's the swatch of that shade dry, and then this bottom swatch is the swatch of it wet. I love this color as well. This color is so pretty. Okay, so that covers all the colors in this By Terry Eye Designer Smokey Nudes palette. So my thoughts on this palette. So I believe it retails in the US for $96. That's what I believe it's gonna retail. I'm not sure. Like I said, I had mine converted from another currency, so I don't even know exactly what the cost of it was, but someone told me it's gonna be $96. So I think that's what it's gonna be. So that is quite an expensive expensive palette. So I personally really like the palette. If you don't use them wet or if you don't spray MAC Fix Plus, you can create just a really pretty, soft, subtle look, which is perfect for any daytime look, which I like. Or you can choose to spray the MAC Fix Plus on it or dip your brush in some water and dab it in each color, and you get another more pigmentation, more color on your eyes. So you can really switch up the way you do your looks with this palette. I've heard people say, oh, it doesn't have good pigmentation or the colors don't show up, but they do definitely show up. I mean, you saw even when I swatched them dry, the colors are there, the colors show up, they just are subtle. But for everyday looks, they are absolutely perfect. And then if you add that wetness to it, you will get more pigmentation and you will get more life to your colors, and you can make totally different eye looks. I really like the palette. I mean, $96 is quite expensive for any eye palette. But if you are a By Terry lover and you love her products like I do, then this is a great one to have in your collection because the colors are so gorgeous. I mean, I love everything you could do with this palette. I absolutely love. I don't think I even mentioned, but the eye look that I'm wearing today, this is all from this palette, and I used a bunch of different colors. And really every time I use this palette, I love how my eye looks turn out, whether it be the subtle looks or more dramatic when I wet my shadows. I just always think it comes out beautiful. The colors just stay on your lid forever. They do not crease. I don't have a problem with them fading throughout the day, whether they're wet, whether they're dry. The formula is amazing. And if you want to compare these to another high-end makeup line, say like Tom Ford, I would say like the Tom Ford shadows, if you're familiar with those shadows, those have pretty deep pigmentation right off the swatch. So if you like something that has a ton of color right from the start, then, you know, this might not be the palette for you. But if you like that versatility of subtle eye looks or creating more dramatic looks, then this is a great palette. So it's all in what you like and what eye looks you want to create. I again think this is a great daytime look palette. You can create a ton of different looks. The quality of the shadows are excellent. They're very smooth, very buttery. They don't kick up a lot of powder. There's not a lot of fallout. So the quality is really good. But again, it just depends on if you want that, you know, intense pigmentation right from the start using everything dry, or if you want that versatility. So that has just been my experience with the palette. I have thoroughly enjoyed it though, guys. It is not a palette that I would ever think of returning. I love having it in my collection because I can create so many different looks with it. So I hope this video helps you guys out. Leave me any questions down below. Again, I think it totally depends on what your style is and what you are looking for in an eyeshadow. But I hope this helped you out, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.